The smell of roasted turkey filled my parents' dining room, but the warmth stopped at the table's edge. I sat quietly, cutting my food into small pieces while my brother Derek held court at the head of the table, the position he'd claimed since graduating from Princeton 5 years ago. "So Emma," Derek said, his voice dripping with condescension as he reached for his wine glass. "Still playing around with those online classes? What is it this time? Introduction to basket weaving? Advanced social media scrolling?" My sister-in-law Jennifer giggled, her diamond bracelet. Derek's anniversary gift, catching the chandelier light. "Derek, be nice. Online education is valid. For some people." "I'm just saying," Derek continued, leaning back in his chair with the confidence of someone who'd never been challenged. 3 years of studying from home, and what does she have to show for it? No degree on the wall, no job offers, nothing. Meanwhile, I'm about to make junior partner at the firm. Dad set down his fork with deliberate precision. "Derek has a point, Emma. When are you going to get serious about your future? You're 28 years old. Your brother had his MBA by your age." "I am being serious," I said softly, keeping my eyes on my plate. "I'm working on something important." "Important?" Mom's laugh was sharp. "Sweetheart, we're just concerned. These internet certificates aren't real education. They're not from real institutions." "Actually," I started. "MIT isn't calling you for job interviews, are they?" Derek interrupted, smirking. "Harvard isn't begging for your expertise?" "No, because real institutions recognize real credentials. My Princeton diploma opens doors. Your online participation trophies collect dust." Jennifer nodded enthusiastically. "It's true, Emma. In the real world, pedigree matters. Derek's network from Princeton alone has been invaluable. You can't get that from a computer screen in your pajamas." "I don't wear pajamas when I—" "The point," Dad said, his voice taking on the authoritative tone he'd perfected as a corporate executive, "is that you need to face reality. This hobby of yours isn't a career path. I've spoken to colleagues. These online programs are barely recognized. Most HR departments won't even look at them." "Your father's right," Mom added, her concerns seeming genuine despite the sting of her words. "We love you, but we're worried. You're isolated, staring at screens all day, taking classes that lead nowhere. What happens in 5 years? 10 years? Derek will be a senior partner. You'll still be, what? Collecting certificates nobody respects." I took a sip of water, letting the silence stretch. This wasn't new. Every family gathering for the past 3 years had followed the same script. My internet education was a running joke, a source of disappointment, proof that I'd taken the wrong path while my brother had chosen wisely. "I saw Rachel Henderson last week," Jennifer said, her voice bright with the pleasure of gossip. "Remember her? She did one of those online marketing courses. She's working retail now. Couldn't find anything in her field. The manager at Nordstrom felt sorry for her." "That's exactly what I'm talking about," Derek said, pointing his fork at me like a weapon. "These programs prey on people who can't get into real schools. They take your money, give you meaningless credentials, and leave you worse off than when you started. No real university would accept their credits. No serious employer would recognize them. How much have you spent on these courses anyway?" Dad asked, his executive mind immediately calculating losses. "Thousands? Tens of thousands? That money could have been a down payment on a house. An investment in something tangible. Or a real graduate program," Mom suggested. "It's not too late, honey. You could apply to state schools. Get an actual master's degree in something practical. Teaching maybe? Or nursing. Something with job security." I set down my fork carefully, folding my hands in my lap. "I appreciate the concern. Do you, though?" Derek leaned forward, his Princeton ring gleaming. "Because from where I'm sitting, you seem pretty content to waste your life on fantasy education. You're not getting younger, Emma. The job market doesn't care about your feelings or your passion projects. It cares about credentials from institutions that matter." "Derek graduated summa cum laude," Jennifer reminded everyone, as if we could forget with her bringing it up every 10 minutes. "His thesis was published in the Journal of Business Economics. That's the kind of achievement that builds a career. That's real academic success." "Exactly," Dad said. "Real universities, real research, real recognition. Not some recorded lectures you watch in your bedroom. Do you even interact with professors? Attend actual seminars? Have access to research facilities?" My phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. "Your silence speaks volumes." Derek said, his smug satisfaction filling the room like cologne. You can't defend it because you know we're right. These online programs are a joke. They're not accredited properly. They don't have real faculty. They're diploma mills dressed up with fancy websites. That's not entirely fair, I said quietly. Some online programs are quite rigorous. Name one employer who would choose an online degree over a Princeton MBA, Derek challenged. One major corporation. One prestigious firm. You can't because they don't exist. The real world runs on real credentials. Mom reached over and patted my hand, her touch pitying. We just want you to be realistic, sweetheart. It's wonderful that you're interested in learning, but you need to think about your future. Marriage, children, stability. How will you support yourself? How will you attract a successful partner when you have nothing to show for all these years? She could always marry someone practical, Jennifer suggested, as if I weren't sitting right there. Someone with a real career who could support her. Hobbies. The table laughed. Even Mom smiled. My phone buzzed again. And again. Popular tonight, Derek observed sarcastically. Let me guess. Another online course reminder. Don't forget to submit your weekly discussion post. God, it's pathetic. Actually, I started to reach for my phone. Leave it, Dad commanded. We're having a family dinner. Whatever it is can wait. This is more important. Talking about your future before it's too late. I withdrew my hand. I've been thinking, Mom said, her voice taking on a planning tone. Your cousin Michelle works in HR at a mid-size company. Nothing fancy but stable. I could ask if they have any entry-level positions. Receptionist maybe? Administrative assistant? Something to get you started on a real career path. That's actually a great idea, Jennifer brightened. You have to start somewhere. Work your way up from the bottom. It's honest work. Better than pretending online classes are equivalent to real education, Derek agreed. At least you'd be building genuine experience, making connections with actual people, not avatars in chat rooms. I'll call Michelle tomorrow, Mom decided. Emma, you'll need to put together a real resume. Leave off the online courses, they'll hurt more than help. Focus on your high school achievements, any volunteer work. We'll frame it as exploring options before settling into a career. A 28-year-old receptionist, Derek mused. That's rough. But maybe it'll teach you the value of real credentials. I started at the firm making 6 figures right out of Princeton. That's the difference pedigree makes. My phone buzzed continuously now, vibrating against my leg like an insistent bee. The screen lit up my pocket. I could see the edge of notification after notification. What is going on with that phone? Dad's irritation sharpened. Emma, either turn it off or check it. The buzzing is disrupting dinner. It's probably her course platform, Derek laughed. Congratulations. You've completed Module 47. Basic concepts you should already know. Here's your digital badge that means absolutely nothing. I pulled out my phone. The screen was filled with notifications. Emails. Messages. Alerts. All marked urgent. Patent Office. Immediate attention required. MIT Technology Review. Request for immediate comment. Stanford Technology Transfer Office. Time-sensitive matter. National Science Foundation. Urgent contact needed. What? I whispered, scrolling through dozens more. What is it? Mom asked. Is everything okay? I opened the first email, my heart suddenly pounding. The words blurred, then focused. Dr. Emma Chin. This is an official notification from the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Your patent application #US 2024-8847392, Quantum Enhanced Neural Network Architecture for Protein Folding Prediction, has been approved with breakthrough classification. This designation is reserved for technologies deemed transformative to national scientific advancement. Additionally, we have been contacted by multiple entities regarding licensing negotiations. Given the unprecedented nature of your innovation, we recommend immediate legal consultation. Emma. Dad's voice seemed far away. What's wrong? You look pale. I scrolled to the next email, my hands shaking. Dr. Chin, MIT Technology Review is preparing an emergency feature on your breakthrough. Our preliminary analysis suggests your algorithm reduces protein structure prediction time from months to hours, with accuracy exceeding all existing models. We need to discuss interview timing for our cover story. We understand ProMedica Pharma, GenBio Solutions and Tech Health Systems are in active bidding. Is the rumored $3.8 billion acquisition figure accurate? The room tilted. Emma, you're scaring me, Mom said, half rising from her chair. What's happening? I looked up at my family. Derek was smirking, clearly expecting some embarrassing online course drama. Jennifer was checking her own phone, bored. Dad was annoyed at the interruption. Mom was concerned but patronizing. I started, then stopped. My phone rang. The caller ID showed Stanford University, Office of the President. I need to take this, I said, standing. Now. Dad's voice rose. In the middle of dinner? Emma, this is exactly the kind of behavior. I answered the call, putting it on speaker before I could second-guess myself. Dr. Chin. A professional female voice filled the room. This is Dr. Sarah Morrison, president of Stanford University. I apologize for calling during the holiday, but this matter couldn't wait. The room went completely silent. I'm here, I said quietly. Dr. Chin, we've been reviewing your doctoral thesis on quantum computing applications in biological modeling. Combined with your recent patent breakthrough, Stanford would like to formally offer you a full professorship in our Department of Bioengineering, effective immediately. We're also prepared to establish a research lab under your direction with a $50 million initial funding allocation. Derek's fork clattered against his plate. Additionally, Dr. Morrison continued, we understand you're currently affiliated with MIT's online doctoral program. While we respect their distance learning division tremendously, we believe your work deserves on-campus resources. We'd like to discuss relocating your research to Stanford. Thank you, I managed. Can I call you back? I'm with family. Of course. But Dr. Chin? The scientific community is buzzing about your breakthrough. Protein folding has been an unsolved problem for decades. Your algorithm changes everything. We want to ensure Stanford is part of that future. She hung up. The silence in the dining room was absolute. Emma, Mom whispered. What was that? Did she say, Doctor? Professor? I sat back down slowly, looking at my phone as another call came in. This time, Nobel Prize Committee, preliminary inquiry. I declined it. What the hell is going on? Derek's voice had lost all its smugness. That wasn't real. That's a prank, right? Someone's messing with you. I pulled up my email and turned my phone so they could see the screen. Official letterheads from Stanford, MIT, the Patent Office, the National Science Foundation, Nature Journal, Science Magazine, 3 pharmaceutical companies, 2 biotech firms. Protein folding? Dad leaned forward, his executive brain suddenly engaged. Emma, that's major pharmaceutical research. That's billions of dollars in potential drug development. I've been working on it for 3 years, I said softly. Through MIT's online doctoral program in computational biology. The one you all thought was a waste of time. You have a PhD? Mom's voice cracked. From MIT? Defending my dissertation next month. But they're calling me doctor based on the patent approval. It's somewhat premature, but given the circumstances. Wait, Derek interrupted, his face reddening. You're telling me you've been working on some billion-dollar patent? From your bedroom? Through online classes? Not just classes. MIT's distance doctoral program is fully accredited. Same faculty, same research standards, same degree as on-campus students. I worked with Dr. Raj Patel. You might know him, Derek. He won the Turing Award 2 years ago. And Dr. Lisa Wong from their quantum computing lab. Jennifer was frantically Googling on her phone. Oh my God. MIT Technology Review's website. The breaking news banner. Mystery PhD student solves protein folding problem that stumped scientists for 50 years. Let me see that. Derek grabbed her phone. His face went white as he scrolled. Jesus Christ. They're calling it the biggest breakthrough in computational biology this decade. Pramedika offered $3.8 billion for exclusive licensing rights. My phone rang again. Pramedika Pharma. I answered, keeping it on speaker. Dr. Chin, Mark Rodriguez, CEO of Pramedika Pharma. I'm calling personally to confirm our offer. $3.8 billion for exclusive pharmaceutical licensing rights to your protein folding algorithm, plus 15% royalties on all drug developments utilizing your technology. We estimate that's an additional $500 million annually once our pipeline launches. I haven't agreed to exclusive rights, I said, my voice steadier now. Several companies are interested. We can go to $4.2 billion, he said immediately. And 18% royalties. Dr. Chin, your algorithm could revolutionize drug discovery. Diseases we've struggled to treat for decades could have cures within 5 years. We want to be your partner in that mission. I need time to consider all options, I replied. My attorney will be in touch. Your attorney? He said. Dr. Chin, with respect, you need a team. This is beyond a single lawyer. You need patent specialists, licensing experts, pharmaceutical consultants. Do you have representation? Stanford's technology transfer office has been helpful, I said. MIT as well. I'm not navigating this alone. Smart. Very smart. Dr. Chin, whatever you decide, what you've accomplished is extraordinary. The scientific community owes you an enormous debt. I hope we can work together. He hung up. I looked at my family. Derek had slumped in his chair, his Princeton confidence evaporated. Jennifer stared at her phone, scrolling through article after article about my breakthrough. Mom's hand covered her mouth. Dad's executive mask had cracked, revealing something like shock. $4 billion, Dad said slowly. Emma. $4 billion. The patent is worth more, I said quietly. The pharmaceutical applications alone could be worth tens of billions over time. Every major drug company needs this technology. It changes everything about how we discover and develop medications. But you said, internet classes, Mom whispered. You said online courses. MIT's online doctoral program, I corrected gently. Fully accredited. Same rigorous standards as on campus. I took courses in quantum computing, advanced algorithms, molecular biology, biochemistry. I worked with leading researchers through virtual collaboration platforms. I had access to MIT's computational resources remotely. I published 3 papers in peer-reviewed journals. Why didn't you tell us? Mom asked. Why did you let us think? I tried, I said. Multiple times. But every time I mentioned my doctoral work, you talked over me. You assumed online meant inferior. You never asked what I was actually studying or who I was learning from. You just decided it wasn't real. Derek found his voice, though it came out strangled. You're seriously telling me you completed a PhD from MIT? While I was getting my MBA from Princeton, you were doing doctoral research. Yes. In computational biology, quantum computing, fields you never even studied as an undergraduate. MIT's program allowed me to build the necessary foundation while pursuing advanced research. It took longer, 3 years instead of the typical 2 for on-campus students, but the flexibility allowed me to go deeper into the work. Deeper, Derek repeated hollowly. You solved a 50-year-old problem. You have a patent worth billions. Companies are fighting over you. Stanford is offering you a professorship. Several universities are, I said. Stanford, MIT, Harvard, Caltech. Even Cambridge in the UK reached out. Jennifer was still scrolling. Forbes just posted an article. Mysterious online student becomes overnight billionaire. They're estimating your net worth at over $5 billion once the deals close. Emma, you're on the Forbes real-time billionaires list. You're number 847. Between a real estate mogul and a cryptocurrency founder. That's speculative, I said. The deals aren't finalized. GenBio Solutions just tweeted. Jennifer continued, her voice rising. They're offering $4.5 billion plus stock options. This is insane. Companies are bidding against each other in real time. My phone buzzed with another email. Nature Journal wanted to publish my full research paper in an emergency special issue. Science magazine was requesting a commentary piece. The NIH was inviting me to present at their annual directors' seminar. Emma, Dad said, and for the first time in years, I heard uncertainty in his voice. I'm having trouble processing this. You've been working on billion-dollar research? For 3 years. While we thought you were wasting time. Yes. And you never got angry? Never defended yourself? Never shoved it in our faces? Would you have listened? I asked simply. Or would you have found reasons to dismiss it? She's exaggerating. Online degrees don't count. It's probably not as impressive as she thinks. I learned early that showing you papers or explaining my research was pointless. You'd already decided online education was inferior. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Sweetheart, we were trying to help. We thought we were protecting you from wasting your life on something that wouldn't. You were protecting your assumptions, I interrupted, my voice still calm but firm. You didn't ask questions. You didn't do research. You didn't look at MIT's program or talk to anyone in academia about distance doctoral education. You just decided you knew better. I'm a Princeton MBA, Derek said as if saying it aloud would restore his world to order. I'm about to make junior partner. I'm successful. You are, I agreed. You've done well. Princeton is an excellent school. Your career is solid. But you're a billionaire, he said flatly. You have a PhD from MIT. You solved a problem that could change medicine forever. Stanford wants to name a research lab after you. I'm your sister who took online classes, I said. That hasn't changed. The education was always real. The work was always rigorous. You just couldn't see past your biases. Jennifer had moved on to social media. Twitter is exploding. Hashtag protein folding is trending. Scientists worldwide are calling this the breakthrough of the decade. There's a hashtag online PhD. People are sharing their success stories from distance learning programs. You're accidentally becoming the face of online education legitimacy. Another call. This time the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. I let it go to voicemail. The White House. Mom said faintly. Emma, the White House is calling you. Probably about funding or policy implications, I said. The breakthrough has national science priority implications. They'll want to ensure American research institutions benefit. National science priority, Dad repeated. My daughter has work classified as national science priority. Our daughter, Mom corrected, but her voice was distant, shocked. My phone lit up again. A text from Dr. Raj Patel, my MIT advisor. Emma, the world just caught up to what I've known for 2 years. You're brilliant. Enjoy watching everyone else figure it out. Call me when you're ready to discuss next steps. Also, the Nobel Committee isn't joking. Start thinking about Stockholm. I showed them the text. Nobel Prize. Jennifer whispered. They're considering you for a Nobel Prize? It's preliminary, I said. They don't award it immediately. But protein folding is exactly the kind of fundamental science problem they recognize. Combined with the practical applications, potentially curing diseases, accelerating drug development, it fits their criteria. Jesus, Derek said. Jesus Christ. I mocked you. At Thanksgiving, I told Uncle Robert you were unemployed and taking fake classes. I laughed about it. I said you'd probably end up working retail. You did, I confirmed. And the whole time you were doing this, you were working with Turing Award winners on research that could win a Nobel Prize. Yes. Why? His voice broke. Why didn't you shut me up? Why didn't you tell me to go to hell? You had every right to humiliate me. Because that's not who I am, I said. And because I didn't need external validation to know my work was valuable. Dr. Patel knew. Dr. Wong knew. My research collaborators knew. The peer reviewers who approved my papers knew. That was enough. But we're your family, Mom said, tears streaming now. We should have known. We should have asked. We should have believed in you. Yes, I said simply. You should have. A new email appeared. Harvard Medical School. $6 million research grant, no strings attached, just to continue my work. Berkeley. Full professorship plus the creation of a new interdisciplinary institute combining quantum computing and biology. Oxford. Named chair position with unlimited research funding. They're offering you everything, Dad said, reading over my shoulder. Every top university in the world wants you. They want my research, I corrected. They want to be associated with the breakthrough. That's how academic institutions work. Prestige follows groundbreaking work. What are you going to do? Jennifer asked. With all of it, the money, the offers, the attention. I'm going to keep working, I said. Protein folding was the first problem. There are dozens more. Drug resistance mechanisms. Genetic disorder treatments. Personalized medicine algorithms. This breakthrough opens doors to solving problems we couldn't even approach before. So you'll take one of the professorships? Mom asked. Stanford? Harvard? Probably Stanford, I said. Their resources are excellent and California has a strong biotech ecosystem. But I'll maintain my MIT affiliation. They took a chance on me when I was just a random applicant to their online program. That loyalty matters. And the money? Dad's executive instincts surfaced. $4 billion. More if this bidding war continues. Emma, you need financial advisors, wealth management, tax specialists. Already arranged, I said. MIT's Technology Transfer Office connected me with people who specialize in academic patent commercialization. I've had preliminary consultations with 3 firms. I'll choose one this week. You've already planned this, Dad said slowly. You knew this was coming. I knew my research was solid, I said. I knew the patent application was strong. I didn't know it would explode quite this publicly or this fast. But yes, I've been preparing for success. That's what serious academics do. We plan for impact. Derek was staring at the table, his Princeton ring suddenly looking small and dull. I was so cruel to you. For years. Every family gathering. Every phone call. I treated you like a failure. You treated me like your assumptions about online education, I said. You never bothered to learn what I was actually doing. I'm sorry, he said, and the words sounded hollow even to him. That's not enough. I know it's not enough. But I'm sorry. I appreciate that, I said neutrally. Jennifer had put down her phone, her face pale. I told people about you. At Derek's firm events. At parties. I made jokes about your internet classes. I implied you were unsuccessful. Oh God, those people are all seeing the news right now. They're all realizing I was mocking a PhD student who just became a billionaire. Probably, I agreed. What do I even say? She looked genuinely distressed. How do I fix this? You don't, I said simply. You live with it. You learn from it. Hopefully you stop judging people's worth by whether their education matches your preconceptions. My phone rang again. Tech Health Systems. $4.8 billion offer final bid. I declined the call. You're not even answering? Dad said incredulously. That's nearly $5 billion. And it'll still be $5 billion tomorrow, I said. I'm not making decisions worth billions of dollars during Christmas dinner while in shock. That would be stupid. That's actually very wise, Dad admitted. Did you think my PhD was only in computational biology? I asked. I also studied decision theory, behavioral economics, and strategic negotiation. Desperation leads to bad deals. Patience leads to optimal outcomes. Mom laughed, a slightly hysterical sound. Of course you did. Of course you studied negotiation strategy while we thought you were watching recorded lectures in your pajamas. I did watch recorded lectures, I said. Excellent ones. From professors who've published hundreds of papers and advised Fortune 500 companies. The delivery method doesn't determine the content quality. You all just assumed it did. Another email. The MacArthur Foundation, Genius Grant nomination being fast-tracked. They're calling you a genius, Jennifer read over my shoulder. The MacArthur Foundation. The Genius Grant, people. It's a nomination, I said. Not confirmed. But yes, my work apparently meets their criteria for exceptional creativity and potential for future advances. Derek stood abruptly, his chair scraping back. I need air. I can't. He walked to the window, his back to us. Derek. Jennifer started to follow him. Don't, he said, his voice thick. Just give me a minute. We sat in silence. My phone continued buzzing, but I ignored it. The turkey was getting cold. The dinner, the whole evening, was ruined, though not in the way anyone had expected. Emma, Dad said finally, his executive composure cracking. I owe you an apology that I don't know how to give. I dismissed your work. I questioned your choices. I implied you were wasting your life. And the whole time, you were doing something extraordinary. You owed me the benefit of the doubt, I said quietly. You owed me basic respect for my decisions. You owed me curiosity about what I was actually doing. The apology is nice, but the damage is done. What does that mean? Mom asked fearfully. Are you cutting us off? Ending contact? I don't know yet, I said honestly. Right now I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm vindicated but also sad because my family spent 3 years mocking something they didn't understand. I need time to process what that means for our relationships. Please don't shut us out, Mom pleaded. We made mistakes. Terrible mistakes. But we love you. Do you? I asked. Or do you love the successful version of me? The billionaire PhD with the breakthrough patent? Would you love the version of me who completed the same work but whose patent didn't happen to be worth billions? What if my research had been important but not commercially valuable? Would you respect me then? Silence. That's what I thought, I said softly. Derek turned from the window, his face blotchy. For what it's worth, I respect you now. I see what you accomplished. I understand what you did. Now that there's a dollar figure attached, I said. Now that institutions are fighting over me. Now that my success is visible and measurable in ways you understand. But Derek, I was doing important work the whole time. The value didn't suddenly appear when the patent sold. It was always there. You just couldn't see it. You're right, he said, his voice breaking. You're absolutely right. And I have to live with that. I have to live with knowing I was cruel to my sister while she was changing the world. That's my burden, not yours. My phone buzzed with a text from a number I didn't recognize. Dr. Chin, this is Bill Gates. I got your information from MIT. Your work on protein folding is exactly what we need for the Foundation's disease research initiatives. Would you be open to a conversation about partnership possibilities? No pressure, just excited about the potential impact on global health. I showed them the text. Bill Gates, Jennifer said numbly. Billionaire Microsoft founder Bill Gates just texted you casually. Billionaires network with billionaires, I said with a slight smile. Apparently that's my peer group now. Jesus, Derek muttered. An email from Forbes. They wanted to interview me for their 30 under 30 special issue, except I was 28 and they were considering creating a special category just for me. 30 under 30 who changed everything. This is surreal, Mom said. This whole night is surreal. It's been a surreal 3 years, I said. Doing groundbreaking research while my family told me I was wasting my life. Knowing I was on the edge of something massive while being treated like an embarrassment. That was surreal too. We'll do better, Dad promised. Whatever it takes. Whatever you need. We'll support you going forward. Going forward is easy, I said. It's looking backward that's hard. How do I forget 3 years of contempt? 3 years of being the family failure? 3 years of having my work dismissed without anyone even asking what it was. You probably can't, Derek said quietly. And we probably don't deserve forgiveness. But maybe we can earn back a fraction of your trust? Over time. I looked at my brother, successful, confident Derek with his Princeton MBA and his junior partnership and his expensive wine. He looked smaller now, diminished not by my success but by his recognition of his own cruelty. Maybe, I said finally. But it won't be quick. And it won't be easy. And I'm not going to pretend the past 3 years didn't happen just because everyone's suddenly impressed. Fair, he said. More than fair. My phone rang. Stanford again. I should take this, I said standing. It's about the professorship details. Of course, Mom said quickly. Of course take it. We'll be here. I walked into the hallway answering the call. Dr. Morrison's voice was warm and professional, discussing lab space, graduate student allocations, research budgets. Behind me in the dining room I could hear my family's muffled voices, shocked, regretful, struggling to process the shift in their understanding of who I was and what I'd accomplished. The conversation with Dr. Morrison lasted 20 minutes. By the time I returned, the dining room had been cleared. My family sat in the living room, phones out, reading article after article about my breakthrough. They're calling you the Edison of computational biology, Jennifer said, looking up. This article says your algorithm could reduce drug development time by 60%. That's thousands of lives saved. Diseases cured faster. Emma, you're going to save lives. That's the goal, I said. That's always been the goal. Not the money? Dad asked. The billions. The money is nice, I admitted. It means security, freedom, the ability to fund research without constant grant applications. But the work is what matters. Solving problems that improve human health. That's why I chose this field. Through online classes, Mom said, and this time there was wonder in her voice instead of contempt. You changed the world through online classes. Through a rigorous doctoral program that happened to be delivered online, I corrected. Through collaboration with brilliant researchers. Through access to computational resources and peer-reviewed publication. Through thousands of hours of work. The delivery method was just logistics. We completely missed it, Dad said. We saw online, and stopped listening. We didn't see the MIT affiliation, the caliber of faculty, the research standards. We just saw our biases confirmed. Yes, I said. You did. What happens now? Derek asked. With us, I mean. With the family. I don't know, I said honestly. Tonight I'm going to my hotel. I booked a room before dinner in case things went badly, which they did, just not in the way I expected. Tomorrow I fly to Palo Alto to meet with Stanford. Next week I have meetings with pharmaceutical companies, my attorneys, and the technology transfer offices at MIT and Stanford. My life is about to become very complicated. Can we be part of it? Mom asked. Not the business side. I understand we don't have a right to that. But your life. Your success. Can we celebrate with you even if we don't deserve to? Eventually maybe, I said. But right now I need space. I need to process 3 years of being dismissed by the people who should have supported me. That's going to take time. We understand, Dad said, though his voice was heavy with regret. I gathered my coat and bag. At the door I turned back. For what it's worth, I said, I never doubted my work. Your opinions hurt, but they didn't stop me. I knew what I was doing was important. I had mentors who believed in me, colleagues who respected my research, and reviewers who validated my contributions. Your lack of faith was painful, but it wasn't defining. That's good, Derek said. That's really good. You didn't need our approval. No, I agreed. But I wanted it. I wanted my family to be proud of me for what I was doing, not just for the dollar figure attached to it. That's the part that hurts. I left them sitting in shocked silence, their assumptions shattered, their understanding of education and success fundamentally challenged. My phone buzzed as I got in my rental car. Another email from Dr. Patel. The world is scrambling to catch up to you. Enjoy the chaos. You earned it. I smiled, started the car and drove toward the hotel. Tomorrow would bring meetings, decisions and negotiations worth billions. Tonight I'd simply let myself feel the vindication of being right when everyone told me I was wrong. The online classes they'd mocked had changed the world. And there was nothing they could say to diminish that.